Sources and resources. The dissections, necessary for proper comprehension. The dissections simplify comprehending government by design. This page changed with the August 30, 2025 edit. What the documents meant to the signing generation and what they intended to accomplish. Each link below takes you to the dissection, or annotations if you prefer, of the United States of America's most important documents, right from the beginning, at 1776. Locke and de Vattel present the generally accepted views about government right up until 1776, when all of that changed with the unanimous Declaration of the United States of America, especially with respect to the sovereign authority over government. To know the meaning of the words used by a given generation, the correct instruments are those dictionaries in publication available for common use just a few years prior to the writing and signing of that document, law, etc., being studied. The 1756 and the 1785 dictionaries of the English language by Samuel Johnson cover the Declaration, the Articles, the Treaty, as well as the main body and the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. These and other dictionaries are available for PDF download at Older Dictionaries. Why Samuel Johnson and not Noah Webster? Because Noah Webster's first and second editions, respectively, were published at about 1806 and 1826, some 20 to 50 years after the signing of several of the earliest documents. Using dictionaries published too distant, either before or after the signing dates of the documents, tend to discredit the research, because definitions change over time. It is better to err on the side of the older dictionaries than the newer, as the older definitions were most likely known by the signing generation. Thus, the newer definitions, unknown at the signing, unethically amend the content meaning, which often becomes what the people of later generations errantly use to modernize or manipulate the signing generation's intent. Under dissection. John Locke, Second Treaty of Government, 1690. John Locke's work gained wide acceptance by the beginning of the 1700s. Many of the Declaration signers are said to have studied Locke's work. The primary focus is to establish how the 1776 generation most likely viewed government. Amir de Vattel, The Law of Nations, 1758. Amir de Vattel's work, The Law of Nations, was already popular in the colonies before the Declaration was signed in 1776. The primary focus is to establish how the 1776 generation most likely viewed government. The Unanimous Declaration of the United States of America, 1776. Supposedly there had been several other declarations sent to the British Crown, but were not successfully defended. This, apparently the last one sent, also evidenced by the 1783 treaty, was successfully defended. This is the contract that created the nation, the Union of States on the American continent. Thus, the United States of America, lowercase u. The Articles of Confederation, 1777. Apparently, it is not too difficult to draft an entire constitution. They did this one, theoretically, between 1776 and 1777. After 258 years since 1756, this generation should have learned many lessons about writing constitutions, what must be removed, what must be added, and what needs a little adjustment. Perhaps it is even time for another total rewrite. The Definitive Treaty of Peace, 1783. One of the most important elements of this treaty is that Great Britain does not grant to the colonies their freedom, independence, or sovereignty. Great Britain acknowledges that the United States of America are free, sovereign, and independent states. Big difference. The Constitution of the United States of America, 1790. It had only been 17 years with the first Constitution, the Articles of Confederation. Many of the reasons that are still taught for and about that change prove false. Congress unable to enforce tax, but granted the power to tax. It created a weak government that was so weak it defeated a global empire at the time. It did not have a two-house legislature, an easy amendment to fix it. It has some of the best term limits not carried forward into the present Constitution, all detailed in this dissection. The Constitution of the Confederate States of America, 1861. Simply reading this Constitution shows how messed up the nation's education system has become. Details in this dissected page. Up next, John Locke, Second Treaty on Government, 1690. Governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, 1776. The governed by design are intended to work together as a unified body controlling the government's powers, equally protecting each other's rights. Share to help get and keep clean, honest government. End page content.